You want to start your business, but every time you try, fear takes over. You keep asking, what's my offer? When really, you're stuck one level below, confidence. Before my first business, I had the same fear loop you're stuck in now. But I built a system, grew that business to 8 figures, and sold it to Dentsu, a global media giant. I've also used that same system to help more than 150 entrepreneurs launch and grow their businesses. In this video, I'll give you a clear, climbable confidence ladder showing you exactly how to fix the confidence gap that's keeping you second guessing so that you can finally stop thinking about your business and start building it. Now, before we get on the first rung of the confidence ladder, there's a key thing about fear. There's no one formula that works for everyone. Research and personality psychology show that we all experience fear differently. Some people freeze when things feel uncertain. Others overthink every move. And then some jump in too fast and burn out. That's why most advice doesn't stick, because fear doesn't show up the same way for everyone. So I'll break it down into 4 broad personality or temperament types, each with its own fear pattern, and give you tools to move past each one. Now, I want you to think about these personality types as default general settings, the way you naturally handle uncertainty or pressure. You likely lean toward one, but borrow traits from others depending on the situation. The goal isn't to label yourself, it is to spot how your fear works so you can move with it instead of against it. We're all on the same confidence ladder, we just start from different rungs. Each personality type faces a different first step, the fear that keeps them closest to the ground. We're all climbing the same ladder, the only difference is where we start. Let's start with the first personality type, the rational. Rationals are the logical strategists. They have no patience with emotions or inefficiency. They live in spreadsheets within spreadsheets, and they get stuck in research. They want every variable figured out before taking that step. I'll walk you through 2 fears and challenges that rationals typically face. You don't need to be a master, just a few steps ahead. If you're wired for logic and strategy, you're probably overthinking your expertise. But what if the real question isn't, am I ready? It is, am I ahead of someone who needs help? Here's how rational Ryan, a corporate consultant, handled it and why it backfired. He spent 6 months strategizing a service. No clients, no conversations, no feedback. Rationals crave certainty and fear they don't have adequate expertise. They say, if I just get one more certification, then I can launch. But clients don't care about letters after your name. They care about results. If you've solved the problem for yourself or for someone else, you are ahead. And being a few steps ahead is all you need. The more time you spend polishing, the less time you spend learning what people actually want. Testing, selling, refining, that's where real confidence comes from. Now, here's how Rational Ryan fixed it. He offered just one module, a simple audit, got paid, collected testimonials, and then refined the offer. What did he get from that one test? Momentum and a pipeline. Remember, early clients don't need a guru. They need someone slightly ahead who can solve real problems now. And I have this tool to help you identify your skills quickly so you can get on the rung confidently. Check out my skill identification worksheet in the link below. If you're the kind of person who rewinds to catch the good stuff, just subscribe now so you don't waste time hunting for this in the future. You might be telling yourself, I don't want to sell things to people, but that's not a personality trait. What if sales and marketing aren't about being slick, but about listening to customers and solving problems? Here's what Rational Rachel initially did. She started her graphic design service, never promoted it, then said, I guess nobody wants to buy from me. Or I guess nobody wants it. Rationals don't dread sales, they dread acting fake. But real sales isn't theater. It is structured problem solving. You map pain points to outcomes and then guide someone, the customer, to a decision. No pushing, no pretending. Every skill feels clunky at first, and sales and marketing are no exception. But once you realize it's a repeatable system, the whole thing starts to feel doable. Now let's fix that for rational Rachel. She mapped out one client conversation using a basic outline: problem, outcome, and an offer. She attended 3 networking events, got 5 leads, closed 1, and now she's tweaking her offer, her approach, and not dreading the process. You're not bad at sales and marketing. You just haven't been shown how to do it in a way that feels aligned with your values. And here's a resource that can help you get on another rung: a comprehensive guide on sales from the ground up. Something that I really needed, but it didn't exist when I started my first business with 0 experience in sales. Check out the link in the description. We've analyzed the rational enough. Let's now build another rung and tackle the next fear for the next personality type. Before we do that, if any of this has you whispering, "Darn, that's me," hit subscribe. This channel is basically built for that moment. The second personality type, the idealist. The idealists are diplomatic, relational, and imaginative. They're great at understanding people, but can be conflict avoidant. Say you want to do the bold thing, but you're terrified of hurting the people you care about. What if the most strategic business move is actually a conversation? Well, let's meet Idealist Ian, a married man building his business in secret because he doesn't want to worry his wife. Hiding the plan won't erase the pressure, it multiplies it. Every late night, every dollar spent, every risk, it's a solo burden. But here's the truth: your vision is more likely to succeed when your people are in it with you. Having their buy-in won't just make you feel better emotionally, it gives you confidence, it gives you structure, it gives you support. So instead of hiding your dream, invite them into it. Here's how Idealist Ian fixed it. He sat down, shared the vision, and asked for input. The wife didn't just support it, she offered ideas. Now it's a shared mission, not a solo task. If your biggest fear is disappointing your family or those whom you care about, the most strategic move is to align with them, not hide this from them. To help you get on the next rung, planning to take the leap, I have this resource linked below that covers all the details you need before taking the leap. Now on to another fear and challenge for the idealist. You don't have to blow up your life to make this work. Your dream feels huge, but your life feels full. So how do you pursue purpose without burning everything down? Here's what Idealist Ivy did. She quit her job overnight thinking it's the only path to serious entrepreneurship, only to spiral from stress 3 weeks later. If you're the idealist type, you're aiming high, but afraid that chasing your dream means sacrificing your family, your energy, or your peace. But it doesn't have to. You don't need to go all in tomorrow. You just need a pace that you can sustain. Purpose unfolds through action, especially small, consistent action. Overnight success, not a plan, a fantasy. How did Idealist Ivy fix that? She tested a 10-hour-a-week plan, kept her job, and then landed 2 clients. You can hold a big vision, I want you to hold a big vision, without putting pressure on day one. Commit small chunks of time initially and then build steadily. And here's a resource to help you get on the next rung, going from side hustle to full-time successfully. Check out the link below. We talked enough about the ideals of the idealist. Now let's move to the third personality type. But one quick note: if you're not sure which type you are, ask a few people who know you very well and whose judgment you trust. They'll spot your type instantly. But if you want something more scientific, I've linked to the Keirsey assessment in the description. The third personality type, the guardians. Guardians are steady and dependable, but their tendency to play everything by the book can make them overly risk-averse and resistant to change. Let's walk through 2 fears related to guardians. Yes, the details matter, but not all at once. You want to get everything right. Contracts, tools, systems, even fonts. But what if your precision is slowing you down? Well, let's meet Guardian Gabe, an aspiring entrepreneur who spends months comparing CRMs but hasn't spoken to a single lead. See, if you're the Guardian type, you're telling yourself that systems create stability. And they do, but only after the business starts. Right now, obsessing over back-end setup gives a false sense of progress. The software that you use doesn't matter if you don't have clients. Start with one offer, one tool, one repeatable process. Test it, prove it, then build your system. Masterpieces can come later. This might sound familiar because the lesson is universal. Clarity beats perfection. The idea is to take action, to step on the mat. Here's how Guardian Gabe fixed it. He used free tools, a Google Sheet and a Google Doc. After getting a few clients and getting paid and figuring out his sales process, he was better equipped to identify what he needs in a CRM and then what tool to buy and invest in. The fastest way to kill your business idea is trying to build a perfect back office before your first few sales. Here's a tool to help you stand solidly on this rung. My master checklist of systems and processes that you need to start and grow your business. Check out the link in the description. You crave stability, and the thought of unpredictable income makes you sweat. But what if your fear disappears when you give it a number? Let's see what Guardian Grace did. Before starting her business, she was almost ready for 18 months because the financial fog never cleared. If you're the Guardian type, and this applies to other types as well, you don't have to leap blindly. You can plan, and that plan can turn anxiety into clarity. Start by defining a minimum viable runway. How many months of income do you need covered? What part-time income could bridge the gap? You're already responsible. This just applies that same mindset to your next chapter. Stability doesn't appear when you leave your job, it evolves. So how did Guardian Grace fix it? She ran her numbers and realized she needed a 6-month cushion and then built it slowly while still employed. Once she had it, she left on her own terms. You don't have to quit cold turkey. Create a clear financial runway while working full-time, then choose your moment. And check out the link in the description for my 6-month financial runway worksheet to help you get on this rung. If you've made it this far, congrats. You officially have better follow-through than half the internet. Might as well subscribe while you're on a roll. Now, last but not least, the 4th personality type, the artisans. Artisans are the adventure seekers. They're optimistic, excited, and daring. They start fast and chase the thrill, but they might burn out just as fast when things get repetitive. Let's go over a common fear for this type. Start small with structure or it won't stick. Artisans are optimists and naturally love variety and movement, but those same traits make consistency hard. So how do you explore without drifting? Let's see what Artisan Alex did. He's an entrepreneur who launches 5 ideas in a year, each with a different co-founder. None stuck. No vision, no path, just motion. Freedom feels great at first, but if you don't give it a shape, it starts to scatter your energy. Pick one goal and set a time limit. Even loose structure creates momentum. Well, you're not experimenting, you're dissipating your energy and wasting opportunities. Here's how Artisan Alex fixed it. He focused on one idea, chose one co-founder, and set a 90-day timeline. With that frame, everything started to click. If freedom is your fuel, you still need direction. Try things on the side, but set a time limit or you'll drift forever. Here's a resource to help you get on this rung, which addresses the most consequential decision you'll make in business: choosing the right co-founder. Before we get to the last fear, a pro tip here. A lot of people online share strategies and frameworks, and they make it sound like success is guaranteed. That is just not real life. That's a disservice to aspiring entrepreneurs. No matter how solid the advice or the system, including mine, success is never guaranteed. What actually makes the difference is understanding your fears, facing your challenges, and putting in the time and effort to build something real. And even if the first business doesn't take off the way you hoped, you've still gained the experience and clarity that will make your next move, your next job, if you decided to go back to the workforce, that much stronger. That's how entrepreneurs grow, not through guarantees, but through grit and lessons learned. Now back to the last fear I want to cover, and this one applies to all types. Fear is fuel, but only if you walk with it. You've waited for the moment when you'll feel ready. But what if that moment never comes? And that's okay? You fear judgment, failure, wasting time. Of course you do. That means you care. But staying stuck, that guarantees regret. There is no ready. There's only the version of you who acts anyway. Launch even though it's messy and imperfect. You'll never feel ready, but you'll feel proud if you move. Now that you understand how your personality affects the fear of launching, what about turning those first steps into actual paying clients, even if you have no audience or any sales experience? Watch this video to learn the exact step-by-step roadmap to start a consulting business and land your first clients, and how you can follow the same roadmap to real revenue.